That was good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Paul and Judy. Doesn't it feel like forever since we've done one of these?
It does, and I think that
videos?
last time might have been the steak, and I was first apron. Now I'm relegated to second apron.
You're back
again.
to second apron again.
Your
That'll
first,
teach you.
Your first apron.
That'll learn you. Well, today we have a recipe that we're very excited to do, and full disclosure,
Yes.
we did practice
We did,
first.
and we don't normally do that, but
No.
we were hungry one night, so we made it.
We had the ingredients,
And
we tried it out.
We have to have a tip of the cap
Yes.
to Kelly
Yes,
Caputo.
she is the one who submitted this recipe. Her name is Kelly, and she said that it's called a enchilada bake, and it's actually a Weight Watchers recipe.
Really?
Yes, and it doesn't taste like one. I mean, it doesn't taste like you're sacrificing anything.
Oh, it's very good.
And the only thing, and I'll point it out when I tell you all the ingredients, but there's one thing that you can get low fat or fat free if you choose to do that. But everything else is...
I think it's all gluten-free too, is it not?
Yes, it's all gluten-free as well.
All right.
So enchilada bake, Weight Watchers, thank you to Kelly. And what we thought we would do is show you the ingredients that you'll need, and then we'll kind of get it all prepped and drain the beans and open the cans and all that kind of thing. But we wanted you to be able to see what you'll need for the
Right,
recipe.
yeah, we won't make you sit through that.
Yeah.
And I'll be cooking the chicken, prepared, and then so we'll have a little disappearing.
I should have called it Chicken Enchilada Bake. So yes, your protein is the chicken and the beans. But speaking
Okay.
of that, let's talk about what you'll need.
Let's do.
Okay, so you're going to need an enchilada sauce, 19 ounces of an enchilada sauce canned. We happen to have bought the mild version. You could probably also buy it hot if you
You
prefer.
can.
Okay, so
And that's my fault.
that's one thing. No, that's a good thing.
All right.
But I'll get you on the other side, and I'll show you how. You're also going to need a can of black beans, and this is where you could get the 16-ounce fat-free. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is just the regular black beans, and that's what I'm going to need to drain. Here's where you can get the fat-free if you want the refried beans. So the refried beans are another 16-ounce can of the refried beans. We got the regular actually for our purposes. You're going to need a packet of the taco mix. Okay, just a stand. Now you could also, and Kelly has said that she's made her own taco mix before.
Right, you can mix your own.
Right, that's the only thing that she has changed in the past. Then, of course, you're going to need 1.5 pounds of chicken.
That's correct, and
Yes.
and we did the tenderloins.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be
Just
cutting them
easy.
up anyway.
Yeah.
And they're no antibiotics and all that other good stuff.
Exactly.
Publix Greenwise, they call it.
1.5 pounds of the boneless, skinless chicken breast cooked. Now you're also going to need, and when it comes back to the beans, the black beans get drained, and it is 1 cup and rinsed, drained and rinsed.
Right.
And then you need yellow corn tortillas. And these are gluten-free. You're going to need, not the whole packet, but you'll need 9 of the corn tortillas, yellow, it calls for. And you're also going to need 1 cup of shredded cheese. We chose, because of the enchilada sauce and the taco seasoning and all the good hot stuff, jalapenos if you wanted to add those at the end, a salsa if you wanted to add that at the end. We just decided to go with our favorite sharp cheddar cheese.
Yeah, we love
but
the
you
sharp
can
cheddar.
do a fiesta cheese if you prefer. And those
Okay.
obviously come shredded and packaged as well. And then your choice of a pan spray. Or you could actually use olive oil.
I was
if you
just
wanted
going to
to at the
say,
bottom of the pan.
this is what we're doing for cooking the chicken, and I will also have full disclosure on our mise en place, salt and pepper. I love to salt and pepper everything when I'm
We
cooking.
definitely should have stock in those salt and pepper grinders because we use them all the time. So that's what you'll need. So we're going to just kind of prep everything for you, and then we'll be right back and we'll get into
Yeah,
it.
because you don't want to just watch us while we're doing
Maybe
that.
they do.
No, they don't.
We're not going to let them. Okay, see you in a minute. All right, so I think we pretty much have everything set, although there is one thing that I did forget to mention
Uh-oh.
when we were talking about the ingredients.
Oh, yes.
And true confessions, I was using my phone for the recipe, and as soon as I was talking about the ingredients, the phone shut off, and so I was trying to remember by heart, and I did forget one thing that you're going to need in the recipe, so I'll let you know that right now.
Okay.
You need a can, which is 28 ounces of diced tomatoes and green chili, okay? So and it has to be drained. So diced tomatoes and green chilies is its own separate thing, and that's also added to the recipe.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm cooking the chicken.
Okay.
All right, but I want you to remember, you don't have to overcook it because it's still going to bake when you're done. But I always love to do a little bit of seasoning. Salt and pepper to me is, you can't go without it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those.
It's kind of a staple.
So I cooked it in olive oil.
Okay.
I'm going to stir this up a little bit more.
All right, and as you're doing that, since it's almost done, let me get going with some of this stuff too.
Sure, you go.
So I've got my little 9 corn yellow tortillas here, and I'm going to use the spray to start with the pan, okay? Getting that ready so it sticks. So that's good to go. So the first thing you do after this is then pour 1/3 of a cup of the enchilada sauce in the bottom. Okay, so it's kind of eyeball, but we'll say about 1/3 of a cup. And spread that around into the top, or the base actually, of that pan. I'm going to add even just a little bit more, because there's plenty to go around. So once you've got the enchilada sauce in the bottom of the pan, you kind of spread that around over your sprayed 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Then you're going to put half of your pile, remember there are 9, so half of your pile of the tortillas lining the bottom. And what I found just from sort of following the picture was that the best way to do the bottom and the top actually is to cut 2 of them in half. So we've got pretty much a well-lined base. So you've got about, what is that, 4 and a half. So let's do one more half, and we'll fill that in so that there are no gaps. Okay, looking good. Almost like little smiley faces.
Very good. Now remember, that's the enchilada part. You're going to have the taco on the top and the one on the
Exactly. So now in the bowl, after that portion, we put the refried beans along with the taco seasoning. So there was really no prep for the refried beans, whereas I needed to drain the peppers and chilies, and I needed to drain the black beans. With the refried beans, it's just pretty much open the can and pour it in, and then add that with taco seasoning.
Nice.
Yum, I know. It's so easy.
Don't forget, you can obviously decide, do you want the original, do you want the hot, do you want the mild? The other thing is, they do sell a gluten-free taco sauce. And to me, I can't tell the taste difference.
No, they are both good. It's kind of like soy, isn't
Yeah.
it? You and I have really found that.
Yeah, the thing about soy that we've discovered is, I think soy itself doesn't have gluten, but if they say, well, it wasn't in a kitchen
Yeah, where it
that
was
was
made.
gluten-free, then they can't guarantee there wasn't any cross-contamination.
Okay, so now the big thing is, after you've mixed in the taco seasoning
Yes.
with the refried beans, is unlike the rest of the recipe, this whole concoction goes over the first layer of the corn tortillas.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do now, as gracefully as I can.
And I will tell you, this is a delicious.
It's yummy.
Now this goes a long way. Did
Well,
we,
I was just
did we
gonna
talk about
say-
that? Go ahead.
No, but we didn't talk about it, and that's a great point, because it serves 8 servings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to, which is what you and I do, since we're really just cooking for 2, we took half of it, cut it first, froze 4 slices, and then ate 2 of them, and then put the other 2 in the fridge. So it worked out great, because we had leftovers maybe 2 or 3 days later, and then we had 4 more servings frozen for another time.
And when you do it that way, and again, if you're going to eat it in a couple of days, refrigerator's fine.
Okay, so now you've got your layer, and we're going to keep this bowl because we're just going to reuse it. And in fact, it's really cute in the recipe. She says, "Why dirty another bowl? You know, it's not necessary to dirty another bowl." So then, using the same bowl, literally, this was the message: is the chicken done?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So using the same bowl,
Beck,
we're
let me
going to
turn this
add
up.
the cooked chicken.
Okay. Now, do you want me draining this a little bit, or do you want the juices in there?
I think it's so lean. I think
Okay.
you're okay. And you've really cooked off so much of it. So that goes in with the black beans. So you're welcome to pour that in. Let me get that out of the way. See if you can see what you're
All
doing.
of that.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That
Last couple, please. I dirtied another spoon.
Okay, and then the black beans go in after that, and they have been drained ahead of time. I know I tend, when I look back on these recipes that we've done, I've thought to myself, you know, I repeat myself a lot. I'm going over it, but it's just because I'm not used to talking through a cooking session. So I have to reiterate everything like 3 or 4 times. And then when I am editing the videos back again, then it gets reiterated again because then I'm putting all the information at the bottom of the screen.
Full disclosure.
What's that?
Judy
this time.
talks to herself all of the time.
And I swore when I heard my Nana do it all the time that I would never be that person. I am my Nana.
You are that person.
I am that person.
Sometimes I've been saying, did you say something? No, I was just talking to myself.
I'll be with you in a moment. That was just for me. Black beans. Now at this point, we also are going to add the drained diced tomatoes and green chili. So this is all going in to this same bowl. I'm starting to think I should have used a larger bowl.
Now this will be new for me because the first time that I looked for the ingredients when we actually did this before, I couldn't find one with the green chilies. So this will be a little bit, maybe a little more bite.
I think it's going to be better.
Yeah.
I really do, and I think we're going to feel like we can really notice.
I don't know if you heard that. That means the oven's up to temperature now, 350 degrees.
Yeah, we set it at 350 to start. So look at all that
Look at-
goodness. And you know what they say when it comes to recipes or foods?
I'll get
the
some of
best-
these things out of your way.
The best kind
Okay.
are the most colorful. So the best foods to eat are the most colorful foods. So once you have that mixed around really well, remember, as I am wont to do, repeat myself, it's the chicken, the cooked chicken, the black beans, tomatoes and chili can, and the remaining enchilada sauce. So now that that's mixed around pretty well, let me add in, now you can see why I was pretty generous with the enchilada sauce on the bottom of the pan, because there's just so much. So look at that. And when we add this, we're not going to be adding it all at once. So this gets mixed around.
I rinsed this in case you still need it.
Oh, thanks. Me and my spatulas.
She is a big fan of the spatula.
Love it. So now you've got your concoction, adding in the enchilada sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to spoon. I may actually even use 1/3 of a cup, since why dirty another item? The 1/3 of a cup to put in half of this mixture over the top of the corn tortillas.
Do you want a ladle? I can always get you a ladle.
Sure. We have a nice big one somewhere, don't we?
But it's hiding somewhere else.
Yeah, so I'll probably just end up using the... You know, it's funny because we try to think of everything we're going to need ahead of time. Which knives are we going to need? Which serving bowls are we going to need? Which mixing bowls are we going to need? I have a feeling it may be way over there.
Over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's one. That's it. Good job, sous chef. Apron 2.
Apron 2. Second apron.
All right. So we're going to take half of this bowl and we're going to pour it over our corn tortillas, refried bean, and taco seasoning mixture. Isn't it starting to just whet your appetite already? Look at how good that looks.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't even baked it.
Wow.
To your point of the 350 degrees, we're going to be baking this for 30 minutes after we've got it all set up and together.
We won't make you watch for that whole 30 minutes.
I would say that's about half.
Although we're very interesting during that time. I think everybody knows this.
All right. Yeah, I think that is about half.
Okay.
So at this point, and I have to cheat with my little recipe, and I'll put this, the recipe and the ingredients, and then anything we're using that's available, I'll put it in my little storefront in the links below the video. So at this point
I'll
now,
take these away from you now.
thank you. We're going to place the remaining 4.5, and I'll do it a little bit differently. I'll do the full ones at this end this time on the top. And these are not cooked first. You saw we got them pretty much right out of the refrigerator. So they'll be your topping. And you can imagine what comes next, which is the remainder of the chicken mixture. So it's almost like a club sandwich with that third piece of bread in between.
Well, it also remind you a little bit of the 9-layer dips and things of that nature. But
Exactly.
it's really, really tasty. It's so
I
easy
really
to
think
reheat.
it's going to be better than the first one that we did. I honestly do. I think the tomatoes and green chili that you bought is going to make all the difference in the world. And then, of course, we haven't added the cheese yet. And you can use the Fiesta cheese if you want. We're using sharp cheddar when we top it. And then we even have some other things to show you after the recipe is cooked thoroughly through.
And we're big fans of the cheese, and we use all different types at different times. Of course, as you know, we love our wine, so
Yeah.
we love our cheese just as well.
Okay, yeah, that label was a great idea. I'm
Okay.
actually very glad that you brought that up. So now, let's turn it that way. You can kind of see it without the cheese on it. And so at this point, and this amount, which is exactly 8 ounces, is the cup. So I'm just going to use this whole thing. So it says, put the remaining chicken mixture over the top of the remaining corn tortillas that you used, and then sprinkle the cheese over the top and bake for 30 minutes at 350. So that's what comes next. And then watch for the pretty presentation. And if you decide you don't want to use the full, whoops, I've just decided I'm going to use the full
Sure.
cup.
Oh, you mean to sprinkle some on top later?
I was wondering.
I have
what do you
more where
think?
that came from, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
You don't have to be scrimey.
Scrimey with the cheese. No, because it'll do such a beautiful job baking. Although, you know, it isn't a bad idea to save a little bit for when it's baked. I think there's just about, I don't know, a quarter cup left. So let's do that, Paul.
Okay.
Let's put that in. So that's going to be the pre-bake look.
Are you ready?
I'll let you do the. Oh, you want me to do the honors?
I'm gonna open it for you.
Okay, love it. Thank you. Okay.
No, I have the light turned on so that I can check it from time to time. You know, you usually have the auto light that goes off.
Yeah.
So we're taking a break?
We'll take a break and then we'll do the big reveal when it's finished. Okay, good.
I love it.
Yay.
Hopefully you didn't hear all of that.
There's the bell.
Hopefully you heard that.
Hopefully you heard that.
Okay.
So this is
I'll
exciting.
go get it.
And what I'll also share with you is, remember that leftover amount of cheese that I didn't put on it? Paul had a great idea and he said, you know, what we should do is put that last remaining bit of cheese on, but then broil it at the end. So what we did is we kept the 30 minutes, and then at the end of the 30 minutes, we put the rest of the cheese on and then broiled it for another 3 minutes. So here's sort of the big review.
All right. I'm jealous of us. You see that sizzling?
Yeah,
Huh.
right here.
Boom.
Look at that. Oh, that looks really good.
Wow.
Isn't that good?
How do we do it?
So, well, the other thing is you can see why this will feed 8 servings, because you could cut it right in half, cut it in half again on each one, and then cut it down the middle, and then you freeze half of it, eat 2 pieces tonight, and then the other 2 pieces go right into the refrigerator for 2 days from now.
Truthfully, it's 10 to 12 meals for us.
Yeah, that's true. Even that would be really big pieces.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed.
Well, one thing
What?
we forgot,
What did
which
we
we
for-
usually start at the beginning, but we can do at the end, is
Toast?
a toast.
Mm.
Yeah. We always like to toast you guys. Toast to life, toast to each other,
And to you.
and to you,
Yeah.
yes. So cheers. Bon appetit. We hope you enjoy this meal as much as we are about to. Bye.
Bye, everyone.